Here's a live for you all today. I have 9 kids in my home right now, and it's interesting, right? The dynamics when you have a large family and then you add 3 more kids to your nest, right? It's interesting how sometimes we believe that if we have more kids, or if we have more than what we have right now, that it's going to be difficult to handle. And it's one of those things where if you are a parent, if you have had children, you know it can get really difficult sometimes with one child. And I think that God makes everything like that. I think that's in his perfect plan. I think he wants us to have a rough 1 or 2, 3 years with our first children because he teaches us through that. Now, there's a principle in raising children that a lot of people don't understand, or they don't want to come to the realization, or they're too busy to even think about this. But think about it for a second. If you have children and you're raising them in this generation and you're doing the best you can, I know a lot of you parents are doing the best you can, and there's going to come a point where you're going to learn how to do the best job you can do and how to put the best effort you can put in. And there's going to come a point where you're going to feel like, wow, you're getting this done. You're actually doing something you thought you could never do, or something that you thought you could never handle. So right now there's a lot of parents that are out there and they have their first child or their second child, and sometimes they think it's overwhelming, it's hard to handle. But I promise you this, once you get through those 2 or 3, 4 years of that first child, things are going to look a lot better. Okay, the first years are always hard, and it's like that on purpose. It's those years that are going to mold us into good parents, it's going to form us so that we can think beyond what our childhood reasoning is. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, we grow up with certain the logic of what we were raised with. We grow up with certain paradigms, right? Certain even stigmas, even things that biases, right, that we were raised with. And as we raise our own children, we're going to learn how to do things a little bit different, if it works different, right? But sometimes there are things that we were raised with that we need to keep. And sometimes it's hard to keep them because no one else wants to do them anymore. So right now, I guess what I'm trying to get, across is right now I have 9 kids in my home. And it's been pretty easy. They're going to go home tomorrow, the 3 extra kids. The other ones stay with me. But it's been pretty easy to keep them organized. So what are some things I do to keep my home structured and organized? I know a lot of people wonder, and I get this a lot. Oh, you look so peaceful. You look like you have it all together, or you look like, or they come into my house at the right time and they say, wow, your house is so organized and it's so clean. But what you all don't see is you all don't see the messiness in between, because those hours no one comes to my house. So a lot of times people look at me and they're like, oh, you look like, and I come to your house and everything's clean. But remember, I planned it to be that way. So a lot of times when we're online and we're going through Pinterest and we see this lady with a cup of coffee and she's writing in her journal, in her Bible journal, and she's doing all this amazing stuff, remember, that is a promotion. That's what's going on. Nowadays, that's what sells, is the cup of coffee and the lady who's at peace writing in her journal, and she has like all this time to get into the Word and in the Bible. Isn't this true? So one of the things I want you guys to know, let me just bring some people on here. When we see these images, remember, it's a promotion, okay? What is it that we need right now as women? We need to know that there is something more out there, right? We need hope. We need hope, and we need to know that our kids aren't going to have a tantrum every time we say no. And we need to know that every time I want to just get up and go to the beach, right, and something happens, that it's going to get better. Every time we're trying to get to church and the kids are fighting and all of this is going on around me, and I'm like, oh my, I wish we could just get in the car and make this work without mommy yelling. It's all going to come, that season is all going to come to an end one day. So let me just tell you, you keep doing the best you can do. Okay, there's some things I do in my home that I have to do daily to keep my house organized. You're going to find the structure that you need to keep your house organized. For example, if I know it's going to be a really busy day, I put the crock pot on. If I know, okay, if I know one day I'm going to have to go outside of my home and work, I would want my family to have a healthy dinner. So what would I do? I would put the crock pot on at 5 or 6 in the morning. When I get home, that meal is going to be there and it's going to be done. So there are some things that we moms can do to make the family, flow, to make the temperature in our home a warm temperature, not too hot and not too cold. So what are things I do? The reason why sometimes you see me and I look really peaceful is because I don't do everything. Okay. Hi, Irene. How are you? Yes. Amen. I don't do everything. Okay. I have kids that clean the bathroom. I have kids that clean the kitchen at night when I'm exhausted. I have a 6-year-old who does living room duty, which is just picking up toys and putting DVDs back and stuff like that, which is pretty easy. But sometimes she has to dust the living room, and I help her with that, obviously. But there are things that I don't do. And I have someone who does the laundry. My 10-year-old, she does the laundry. She brings it to me. We separate it, and all the kids put their laundry away. Listen, moms and dads, you do not want to be a slave to your children. That is one of the things that's exhausting parents. It has parents stressed out. And I know there's a whole dilemma about having kids do chores and all this stuff. But if your kids live in your home, the best thing you can teach them is how to be part of the home, how to be an important part of the unit. And it is the best thing I've ever taught my kids, because not only do they clean at home, when they go to church, they want to help clean bathrooms. They want to help pick up stuff from the floor. They want to help out with the kids in the nursery. Today, my 8-year-old got to help out with the babies and the toddlers in the nursery. And it's something that you're going to see that it's good for them. So why would I take that opportunity away? When your kids want to help in the home, let them have the opportunity to help. Even if it means that afterwards you're going to have more work to clean up. Okay. And this isn't an everyday thing, but it's something that I do often in my home. Yesterday, the girls washed the car, and I said I would give them an extra couple of cents, couple of cents for washing the car, because I wanted to give them extra money. Okay. But I do not reward them for cleaning their room or for doing the chore that they have to do daily anyway. So there are some things that you can reward your kids for, the extra work. Let's say they mowed the lawn. I think that's that's a big job for a child. um, but again, you don't want to give them like all this huge reward for something that in the long run they're going to be doing weekly anyways to contribute to the family. So one of the big things that I've taught my kids is to contribute wherever they are, to add value to their home, to add value to their church, to add value to everything, right? Every place that they go to. So in the long run, what does that look like? It looks like this. It looks like now my kid is 15 years old, okay? And she's working out of the home, and she's doing part-time work. She's doing full-time school, and she's training a group of people who are 20 to 40 years older than her at work right now, and she's 15. And this is a true story. My 15-year-old right now is working, and she is doing an amazing job, and she is contributing value to her job. And this morning, she had this little conversation with me and told me how we can get the roof done with the with the help of our insurance. And she told me how to do it and how I what step by step how I had to do this. So listen to me. We are raising, let me add people on. We are raising world changers, okay? We are raising adults that are will go into the world soon to make a difference, okay? And we want our kids to make a difference. We don't want our kids to get stuck in some type of addiction, but in some type of gang in the streets. We don't want our kids to be involved in any of that, you know. So we want our kids to succeed, right? Not just any success, but godly success, which is a lot different than worldly success, right? So right now, all I want is my kids to add value wherever they are, okay? So this is, I'm just going to end it with this. When a child wants to do something, when they want to help with something, let them help. Even if it means it's going to be more work for you, let them help. And when a child wants to help you cook, all right, there's got to be something he can do, even if he's 3 years old. He can stir the bowl, he can mix the eggs, he can crack the eggs. You see, those are things that my kids get to do here, and that's why when they go out anywhere, they try to help, because I never turn them down when they want to help. Now, there are times when they can't help. And then you explain to them in a good way, listen, honey, I really don't think this is something a child should do. And that's it. And that's the end of the story. But truthfully, there's so many things children can do. So God bless your families. God bless you all who are raising kids in this generation. We just, you know, I just pray. My prayer to you all is that you go to the Lord with what is nagging at you, what's pressing you right now, what's making your life uncomfortable, that you will take that to the Lord and you will ask him what he is trying to teach you through that. And he's going to answer you. Keep an open ear because he's going to answer you. Have a good afternoon, good evening.